Marcus's hands were still shaking from CPR when he realized the woman he'd just saved was Victoria Sterling, the billionaire whose face covered every business magazine. She didn't know his name, didn't know he was drowning in medical debt raising his daughter alone in a cramped apartment where the heat barely worked. She didn't know that while she fought for her life on that cold pavement, he'd whispered his dead wife's name begging her for strength. But she would. And when she found him, everything would shatter and rebuild in ways neither could imagine. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because this story will break your heart and put it back together again. And drop a comment telling me what city you're watching from. I want to see how far Marcus and Victoria's story travels across the world. Now, let's begin. She's not breathing. The words cut through the November cold. Marcus heard them before he saw the crowd, 20, maybe 30 people standing in a circle on Fifth Avenue. Phones up. Recording. Nobody moving. He'd clocked out 6 minutes ago. 16 hours between Morrison Logistics and the loading dock at Pacific Shipping. His back screamed. His feet screamed. Everything screamed. Emma was waiting. His daughter, 8 years old. Probably already asleep on Mrs. Chen's couch because he was late. Again. But something made him stop. Someone call 911. A man in a business suit shouted it like a question. Nobody knelt. Nobody helped. Marcus pushed through. 4 hours earlier. The warehouse floor was 104 degrees. Marcus's supervisor, Jenkins 50-something with a gut and a clipboard, was in one of his moods. Thompson, what the hell is this? Marcus looked up from the pallet he was loading. What's what? This shipment. Half the boxes are damaged. They came in damaged. I logged it. I don't care what you logged. We've got a deadline and you're behind. Jenkins jabbed the clipboard at him. You got a problem working fast. Marcus bit his tongue. He'd been here since 5 a.m. It was now 2 p.m. He had 30 minutes to eat and get to the shipping dock for his second shift. No problem. Good, because Morrison doesn't pay you to think. He pays you to move boxes. Jenkins walked away. The guy next to Marcus, Tommy 22, always smiling, shook his head. Man's got a real gift for making people feel special. It's fine. It ain't fine. You work harder than anybody here and he treats you like, Tommy, it's fine. Marcus grabbed another box. His shoulder popped. He ignored it. Because fine meant employed. Fine meant Emma ate dinner. Fine meant the lights stayed on. Fine was all he had. Now. The woman on Fifth Avenue wore a suit that probably cost 3 months of his salary. Gray skin. Lips going blue. Chest still. Marcus dropped to his knees. Did anyone call? Yeah, they're coming. How long's she been down? Silence. Damn it! Marcus tilted her head back, positioned his hands. Sarah's voice in his head, clear as the day she died 3 years ago, count out loud. Don't stop. Don't you dare stop. He pressed down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Compressions. 30 of them. He bent down, breathed into her mouth. Once. Twice. Nothing. His arms burned. Come on. More compressions. Someone behind him was crying. Someone else filming. He breathed for her again. Nothing. Come on! He slammed his fist down on the pavement beside her. You don't get to die. Not today. Not... She gasped. Marcus fell backward. The woman's chest rose, fell. Rose again. Sirens. Getting closer. Someone touched his shoulder. Dude, you saved her! Marcus couldn't speak, couldn't move. His hands wouldn't stop shaking. The paramedics arrived, took over, asked him questions he barely heard. Name, address, what happened. They loaded her onto a stretcher. She was breathing on her own now, eyes still closed but alive. You coming with? A paramedic asked. No. Marcus was already backing away. I gotta go. He walked 6 blocks in a daze. Got on the bus, sat in the back. His phone buzzed. Text from Pacific Shipping. Where are you? Shift started 10 minutes ago. He closed his eyes. Mrs. Chen opened her door with a frown that could crack concrete. 3.5 hours late, Marcus. I know, I'm sorry. He pulled out 2 20s, $40 he didn't have. Thank you. She took the money, but her expression softened an inch. She ate, did homework, asked about you 6 times. Emma was curled up on the couch. Small for 8. Too small. The school nurse had used the word malnourished last month, and Marcus had wanted to punch a wall. Hey, baby. He scooped her up. She stirred. Daddy? Yeah. Let's go home. Home was apartment 4B. 4th floor. No elevator. Marcus's legs shook by the 3rd landing. Emma mumbled against his shoulder. You're late. I know. Mrs. Chen says you work too much. Mrs. Chen talks too much. She said Mommy would be mad at you. Marcus stopped on the landing, felt something crack in his chest. Mommy would want me to take care of you. You do. You're the best daddy. He kissed her forehead. Climbed the last flight. Their apartment, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, a kitchen that was really just a corner. Emma slept in the bedroom. Marcus slept on the couch. He tucked her in without changing her clothes. She was out before he closed the door. The kitchen, if you could call it that, had a hot plate, a mini fridge, and a window that looked at a brick wall. Marcus made instant coffee with lukewarm tap water because the landlord still hadn't fixed the boiler. He sat at the card table. 2 folding chairs. 1 wobbled. His hands finally stopped shaking. He thought about the woman. Rich, powerful probably. People like that had families, security, private doctors. People like that didn't need people like him. His phone rang. Unknown number. Hello. Mr. Thompson. Grace Memorial Hospital, calling about the incident earlier. Is she okay? She's stable. Ms. Sterling asked us to contact you. She'd like to thank you personally. Who? Victoria Sterling, the woman you saved. The name clicked. Marcus had seen it on magazines at the grocery store. CEO, billionaire, one of those people who showed up on financial news. Tell her I'm glad she's okay. Sir, she was quite insistent. I'm sure she was, but I don't need thanks. Marcus rubbed his face. Have a good night. He hung up, stared at his coffee. People like Victoria Sterling lived in a different universe, one where hearts got fixed by the best surgeons and life went back to normal. People like Marcus. They just kept moving boxes. He finished his coffee, fell into bed on the couch. Tomorrow, another double shift, another day of fine. Victoria Sterling opened her eyes to white ceiling tiles and the steady beep of machines keeping her alive. A doctor leaned over her. Young, competent. Welcome back, Ms. Sterling. You had a severe myocardial infarction. If that man hadn't performed immediate CPR, you wouldn't have made it. Victoria's throat was sandpaper. What man? Marcus Thompson. He saved your life. The name meant nothing. The face was a blur, strong hands, a quiet voice counting someone's breath filling her lungs when her own had given up. Where is he? Didn't stay. Left before we even loaded you. Victoria closed her eyes. 52 years old. 3 ex-husbands who'd wanted her money. No children because she'd been too busy building an empire. A penthouse she barely lived in. A company she'd sacrificed everything for. And a stranger some nobody had cared more about her life in 5 minutes than most people in her life cared in 5 years. Find him. The doctor hesitated. Ms. Sterling, you need to rest. Find him. Her voice had the edge that made CFOs sweat. I don't care what it takes. Her head of security found him in 4 hours. Marcus Thompson. 34. Warehouse worker. Second job loading ships. Widowed. One daughter. Address 447 Maple Street, apartment 4B. Victoria read the file twice. Studied the employee photo, tired eyes, strong jaw, the face of someone who'd been knocked down and kept getting up. Set up a meeting. Ma'am, you were just discharged. Now. Her driver took her to Maple Street Thursday afternoon. The building was exactly what she expected: crumbling brick, broken mailboxes, graffiti that probably hadn't changed since the 80s. She climbed 4 flights. The elevator had an out-of-order sign that looked permanent. Knocked on 4B. The man who opened the door was bigger than she remembered. Or maybe dying had made everything look smaller. Jeans, gray t-shirt with a hole near the collar. Arms that came from real work, not a gym. His expression shifted. Ms. Sterling. Mr. Thompson. She smiled. May I come in? How'd you find me? I have resources. That's not an answer. I wanted to thank you. She gestured at the hallway. Please. He stepped aside. Barely. The apartment was tiny, clean but worn. A couch held together with duct tape. Card table with folding chairs. Children's drawings taped everywhere. Horses, rainbows, stick figures holding hands. It smelled like coffee and laundry detergent and effort. Your daughter? Victoria asked. School? Marcus didn't sit. You didn't need to come here. Yes, I did. She set her purse down. You saved my life. You already had the hospital call. That wasn't me. Same thing. His arms crossed. Look, I'm glad you're alive. That's enough. She'd prepared for this, had a check for $50,000 in her purse, had rehearsed the speech about gratitude and second chances. None of it mattered. This man wasn't taking her money. What do you want? She asked. For you to leave. Mr. Thompson. I've got a daughter to pick up in 90 minutes. Shift starts at 6. So unless there's something else. Why did you help me? The question hung there. Marcus stared at her. What? Hundreds of people watched me collapse. Filmed it. You were the only one who moved. Why? His jaw worked. Long silence. Then, because nobody helped my wife. Victoria felt the air leave the room. Sarah had a seizure at Safeway. His voice was flat, empty. Brain tumor. People stood around with their phones out while she died next to the cereal. Frosted Flakes. I remember because when I got there the boxes were scattered everywhere and she was... He stopped. By the time someone called 911 it was too late. I'm sorry. Yeah, me too. He walked to the door, opened it. Take care of yourself, Ms. Sterling. She should have left. Should have thanked him and walked away and let this man get back to his life. Instead, I'm offering you a job. Marcus's hand froze on the knob. What? Sterling Industries. Logistics management. You have the experience. Warehouse work. It's the same thing with better pay. She pulled a business card from her purse, set it on the wobbly card table. Triple your current salary. Full health insurance. Education fund for your daughter. I don't want charity. Good, because I don't give charity. I make smart business decisions. Victoria moved toward the door. You're organized. You're reliable. You saved my life with skills most people don't have. That tells me you're someone who acts under pressure. I need people like that. Ms. Sterling. Think about it. She paused at the door. The offer stands for 48 hours. She left before he could argue. Marcus stared at that business card for 3 days. Emma found it Friday morning. Who's Victoria Sterling? Nobody. He tried to take it back. Emma held it away, reading. Sterling Industries, Chief Executive Officer. Her eyes went huge. Daddy, is this that billionaire lady, the one from TV? Where'd you see TV? Tommy's mom showed us at lunch. It said a mystery hero saved her. She looked up. That was you, wasn't it? Marcus poured cereal into her bowl. Eat. It was you. You're a hero. I'm not a hero, Em. I just helped someone. That's literally what heroes do. She studied the card like it was treasure. Are you going to call her? No. Why not? Because people like Victoria Sterling didn't really help people like them. Because jobs like that didn't go to guys with GEDs and calloused hands. Because nothing in Marcus's life had ever been that easy. Because we're doing fine. Emma's face fell. She was 8. But she knew that was a lie. That afternoon at Morrison Logistics, Jenkins called him into the office. "Thompson, I gotta let you go." The words didn't land right. What? Corporate's cutting staff. Last hired, first fired. Jenkins slid an envelope across the desk. 2-week severance. Wrote you a reference. Marcus's vision tunneled. I've been here 2 years. I know. I fought for you. It's done. Marcus walked out. Sat in his truck for 20 minutes, hands on the wheel, not moving. Emma. School supplies. Rent. Food. The electric bill he'd been stretching for 3 months. He pulled out his phone. Called the number on the card. Victoria Sterling's office. This is Marcus Thompson. I need to speak to Ms. Sterling. One moment. Then her voice. Mr. Thompson, I was hoping you'd call. That job. Is it still available? It is. Marcus closed his eyes. When can I start? Sterling Industries took up 15 floors downtown. The kind of building Marcus used to walk past and never imagined being inside. Now he had a desk, a computer, a nameplate. Marcus Thompson, Logistics Coordinator. First day, Victoria gave him the tour herself. Break room, coffee's free. Don't touch the bottom pot, been there since Tuesday. She smiled. Operations floor. You'll spend most of your time here. And this, she opened a door, is yours. An office, small, but an office, with a window. I thought I had a desk. You have an office. Victoria leaned against the frame. Welcome to Sterling Industries. He wanted to argue, to say this was too much, but the window had real sunlight. Thank you, he managed. Thank me by doing good work. She started to leave, paused. How's Emma? Good, really good. She's excited I don't have night shifts anymore. Bring her by sometime. I'd like to meet her. The first week nearly killed him. Systems he'd never heard of. Software that made his head spin. Corporate language that felt like code. But logistics that he understood. He saw problems and fixed them. Rerouted shipments. Streamlined processes. By week 3, he'd saved the company $42,000 on the Newark route alone. Victoria called him up to the 20th floor. Her office was massive. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Art that probably cost more than his childhood home. Furniture that belonged in a museum. Impressive work on Newark, she said. Marcus shifted his weight. Just doing the job. You're doing more. She gestured to a chair. Sit. He sat. Are you happy here? Yes. You hesitated. I'm grateful. Different question. Happy, not grateful. He chose words carefully. It's different. I'm still adjusting. Fair? She leaned back, studied him with those sharp eyes. Do you think I hired you out of guilt? Yes. She smiled. Actually smiled. Good. You're not a liar. Ms. Sterling, I did hire you partly because you saved my life, but mostly... She stood, walked to the window. That day on the pavement you didn't think about cameras. You thought about your wife, about how nobody helped her. And you made damn sure I wouldn't die alone like she did. She turned. That's not someone looking for reward. That's integrity. And I built this company on a lot of things, but integrity wasn't always one of them. I'm fixing that. Marcus didn't know what to say. So yes, I'm grateful. but I also made a smart hire." She smiled. "Now get back to work. Those shipping manifests won't optimize themselves." Emma met Victoria on a Friday in late November. Marcus mentioned casually he'd bring his daughter by. Victoria cleared her afternoon. Emma wore her church dress, donated but clean. She held Marcus's hand tight, walking into the executive suite. "Mr. Thompson." The assistant smiled. "Go right in." Victoria stood when they entered. "You must be Emma." Emma's eyes went wide. "You're really her." "I am." Victoria came around her desk, knelt to Emma's level. "And you're the girl who kept your dad strong enough to save me. He told me he was rushing home to you that night." Emma beamed. "He always comes home?" "Because he loves you very much." Victoria glanced up at Marcus. "You raised an incredible daughter." "She raised herself mostly." "Did not," Emma protested. "Daddy cooks and helps with homework and reads every night even when he's super tired." Victoria's expression softened. "He sounds like the best dad." "He is." They talked for 40 minutes. Victoria showed Emma the view, let her spin in the executive chair, asked about school and friends and what she wanted to be when she grew up. "A doctor," Emma said firmly, "so I can save people like Daddy saved you." When they left, Emma talked the entire bus ride home. "She's so nice, Daddy, and smart. Did you see all those awards? And she knew about my science project? How'd she know about my science project?" Marcus had mentioned it once, in passing, during a meeting. Victoria had remembered. That night, after Emma was asleep, Marcus stood at the kitchen window, looked out at the city lights. For the first time in 3 years, something felt different. Almost like hope. Marcus was reviewing shipping logs when his phone rang. Victoria's assistant, voice shaking. "Mr. Thompson, 20th floor, now." He ran. The boardroom was chaos. 15 directors in $1,000 suits standing around like mannequins, and Victoria on the floor, unconscious, lips blue. Marcus shoved through them. "Someone call 911. He dropped to his knees, tilted her head, started compressions. "Not again. God, not again." "Come on, Victoria." Press. 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 "Don't you dare!" Her eyes fluttered. "That's it. Stay with me." He kept rhythm, counted, prayed. "Ambulance is coming. Just hold on." She grabbed his wrist. Weak. "Marcus. Don't talk. Save it." Twice. Barely a whisper. "You've saved me. Twice. And I'll do it 100 more times. Now shut up and breathe." The paramedics arrived. This time Marcus climbed into the ambulance with her, held her hand while they worked. At the hospital, doctors swarmed. Marcus got pushed into a waiting room full of board members who looked at him like he'd tracked mud on their carpet. He didn't move. 4 hours later, a doctor emerged. "Another myocardial infarction, more severe. She needs immediate surgery, triple bypass. We're prepping now." "Can I see her?" "Family only." "I'm family." Marcus's voice was steel. "Let me see her." Something in his face made them step aside. Victoria was in pre-op, machines everywhere, but awake. "Hey." Marcus pulled a chair close. "Hey." She tried to smile. "Bad habit." "Then stop dying." "Working on it." Her hand found his. "Marcus, if something happens, it won't. If it does, you need to know something." Her grip tightened. "You and Emma, you gave me something I forgot existed. You made me human again. Not just powerful, human." "Victoria, let me finish." Her eyes were bright. "I was dying before you saved me. Not just on that pavement. Every day. Living in boardrooms and never feeling anything. Then you knelt beside me and breathed life into my lungs, and I thought this stranger cares more about my life than I do." Marcus's throat was tight. "You're not dying. You're getting through surgery and coming out fine, and Emma's going to be so mad you scared us." "Emma." Made me promise to tell you she loves you. Apparently you're her hero now." Victoria cried. "Just a little." A nurse entered. "Ms. Sterling, it's time." 1 minute. Then to Marcus. "If I don't make it, stop. Everything goes to Emma. Education, trust fund, all of it. My lawyer has it." Marcus stood. "You're telling her yourself. Years from now. At her graduation or wedding. Because you're not dying today." Victoria smiled, squeezed his hand. They wheeled her away. Marcus sat in that waiting room for 6 hours. Board members came and went. Some looked at him with suspicion. One gray-hair expensive suit stopped. "You're Thompson." "Yeah." Richard Castellano, board chairman. He didn't offer his hand. "How long have you worked at Sterling Industries?" 3 months. 3 months. Castellano's smile didn't reach his eyes. "And you're in pre-op with our CEO. Interesting." "She's my friend." "Is she?" "Not a question." "We'll be watching you, Mr. Thompson, very closely." He walked away. Marcus sat back down, something cold settling in his gut. Finally, the surgeon emerged. "Surgery was successful." Marcus breathed. "She'll need extensive recovery, lifestyle changes, but she'll live." "Can I see her?" "Recovery. Give it an hour." Marcus waited. When they finally let him in, Victoria was unconscious but breathing steady. He pulled a chair close. "You made it." He took her hand. "Now you've got to keep your promise." About Emma's graduation. He stayed until they kicked him out. Came back before work the next morning, every day after that. Because somewhere along the way, the woman he'd saved on a cold pavement had stopped being a stranger. She'd become family. And Marcus Thompson didn't abandon family. Not ever. Marcus was at Victoria's bedside when the door opened. Richard Castellano walked in. 2 other board members behind him. "Mr. Thompson, we need to talk." Victoria was asleep. Marcus stood, stepped between them and her bed. "About what?" "About your relationship with Ms. Sterling." Castellano's smile was ice. "See, we've been looking into you. Warehouse worker one day, executive the next. Quite a promotion. She offered me a job. After you saved her life. How convenient." "What are you saying?" Castellano leaned in. "I'm saying we have concerns. About your intentions. About whether you're taking advantage of a vulnerable woman." Marcus's hands clenched. "Get out." "The board is considering removing Ms. Sterling from her position. For her own good, you understand. And we're beginning an investigation into your hiring. If we find anything at all, you're done." I said get out. "This isn't over, Mr. Thompson." They left. Marcus sat back down, heart pounding. Victoria's hand moved. Her eyes opened. "Marcus, I'm here. I heard." Her voice was weak but clear. "Don't worry about them. They're coming after both of us. Let them try." She smiled, tired but fierce. "I didn't survive 2 heart attacks to let Richard Castellano tell me what to do." But Marcus saw something in her eyes. Fear. The board was circling. And this time CPR wouldn't be enough to save them. Victoria was discharged 5 days later against doctor's orders. She walked out of that hospital with Marcus on one side and a fury in her eyes that could melt steel. "You should rest," Marcus said in the car. "I should fire half my board." She stared out the window. "Richard's been waiting for this, waiting for me to show weakness." "You're not weak. You had major surgery. In their world, it's the same thing." She looked at him. "They smell blood, Marcus, and they're coming for both of us." The driver pulled up to her building, all glass and marble, and doormen in uniforms. Marcus had never been inside. "Come up," Victoria said. "I should get back to Emma." 10 minutes, please." He followed her inside. The penthouse took up the entire 42nd floor, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, furniture that belonged in magazines, Everything white and chrome and perfect. Everything empty. "How long have you lived here?" Marcus asked. 12 years. Victoria walked to the window. "I've probably spent a total of 6 months actually in it. The rest is hotels, offices, boardrooms." She turned. "You want to know what I thought about when I was going under for surgery?" Marcus waited. "I thought if I die, who's going to care? Really care, not the board. Not my ex-husbands. Not the people who send Christmas cards because I donate to their charities." Her voice cracked. "Then I thought about you, about Emma, about how a man I barely know stayed by my hospital bed for 6 hours, like it mattered whether I lived or died. It did matter. To you, not to them." She gestured vaguely toward downtown. "Richard and the board, they don't care if I live. They care if I'm useful. And right now I'm not." Marcus crossed the room, stood beside her at the window. "Then we make you useful again." "How?" "Same way you built this company in the first place. You fight." Victoria smiled. Tired, but real. "I hired the right person." "Yeah, you did." His phone buzzed. "Text from Emma, Mrs. Chen says you're late." Again. "Are you okay?" "Go," Victoria said. "Be with your daughter." "You sure?" "I'm sure." She walked him to the door. "Marcus, thank you for everything." He wanted to say something more. Something about how she'd changed his life too. How Emma talked about her constantly. How for the first time in 3 years he felt like maybe they weren't just surviving anymore. But the words stuck. "Get some rest," he said instead. He left. The elevator ride down felt longer than 42 floors should. Emma was doing homework at the card table when he got home. She looked up, eyes bright. "Is Victoria okay?" "She's good, resting." Mrs. Chen said rich people don't rest. They just count money. Marcus laughed despite everything. "Where'd she hear that?" "TV. Is it true?" "No, baby. Rich people are just people. They get tired too." Emma chewed her pencil. "Tommy's mom said you're Victoria's boyfriend now." Marcus nearly choked on air. "What?" "She said you visit her every day and that's what boyfriends do." "Tommy's mom needs to mind her business." Marcus sat down. "Victoria's my friend, that's all." "Do you like her?" "Of course I like her." "No. Do you like her? Like how you liked Mommy?" The question hit him sideways. "It's okay if you do." Emma's voice went soft. "Mommy would want you to be happy." Marcus pulled her into a hug, held on tight. "I love you, kid." "Love you too, Daddy." She pulled back. "But you didn't answer my question." "Homework, now." She grinned. "That's a yes." "That's a mind your business." But that night, lying on the couch, staring at the ceiling, Marcus thought about Victoria's penthouse, about how big and empty it was, about the look in her eyes when she'd said, "Who's going to care?" He thought about Sarah, about how she used to say the best things in life came when you stopped being scared. He fell asleep thinking maybe she was right. The next morning at Sterling Industries, Marcus's office phone rang before he'd even sat down. "Mr. Thompson, Castellano, my office, now." The line went dead. Marcus took the elevator to 22, executive row. Castellano's office was at the end bigger than Victoria's, which said everything about his ego. Richard Castellano sat behind a mahogany desk that probably cost more than Marcus's truck. 2 other board members stood by the window. Marcus recognized one, Patricia Hendricks, CFO. The other was younger, sharper looking. "Mr. Thompson, sit." Castellano didn't look up from whatever he was reading. Marcus sat. "We've completed our preliminary investigation into your hiring." That was fast. "We're efficient." Castellano finally looked up. "Tell me, how does a warehouse worker with a GED become a logistics coordinator at a Fortune 500 company in less than 24 hours? Ms. Sterling offered me a job. After you saved her life. Convenient timing. She saw potential. She saw a man who could manipulate her gratitude. Patricia stepped forward. "We pulled your financials, Mr. Thompson. You're drowning in debt. Medical bills from your late wife. Behind on rent. Second job just to keep food on the table. Then suddenly a six-figure salary, full benefits, and an office with a window." Marcus's jaw clenched. "I earned that position. In 3 months, you saved $40,000 on the Newark route. Impressive. Almost too impressive for someone who's never worked corporate logistics before." "What are you saying?" The younger board member spoke up. "We're saying we think Victoria made this decision while emotionally compromised, and we're concerned you're taking advantage." "I'm not." "Are you sleeping with her?" Castellano asked it casually, like he was asking about the weather. Marcus stood. "This conversation is over." "Sit down, Mr. Thompson." Castellano's voice went cold. "Or clean out your desk." Marcus stood there, every muscle screaming to walk out, to tell them what they could do with their investigation. But Emma's face flashed in his mind. Her school supplies. The health insurance that finally let her see a dentist. The apartment with heat that actually worked. He sat. "Smart choice." Castellano leaned back. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to distance yourself from Ms. Sterling. No more hospital visits. No more personal time in her office. You do your job and nothing else. And if I don't, then we find cause to terminate you. And believe me, we'll find it." Patricia smiled. "We always do." "Victoria won't let you." "Victoria is on medical leave," the younger member said, "and the board has concerns about her judgment. If those concerns escalate, we have the authority to remove her from her position, permanently." Marcus felt ice in his stomach. "You can't do that." "We can, if we deem her mentally unfit to lead. And right now—" Castellano spread his hands. "A CEO who makes emotional hiring decisions, who nearly died twice in 3 months, who's formed an inappropriate attachment to an employee." He shook his head. "That doesn't look good, Mr. Thompson. Not for her. And certainly not for you. This is blackmail. This is business." Castellano stood. "You have 48 hours to decide. Stay away from Victoria and keep your job. Or don't and watch everything fall apart. For both of you." Marcus walked out. His hands were shaking again. He made it to the stairwell before he had to stop. Lean against the wall. Try to breathe. They had him cornered. If he stayed close to Victoria, they'd fire him and come after her. If he backed off, she'd be alone facing vultures who wanted her gone. No good options. His phone rang. Victoria. He almost didn't answer. "Marcus, can you come up? I'm back in the office and—" "I can't." Silence. "What?" "I can't come up. I've got work." "Marcus, what's wrong?" "Nothing. I need to focus. I'll talk to you later." He hung up before she could respond. Then he went to his office and closed the door and tried to figure out how everything had gone so wrong so fast. That afternoon, Emma's school called. "Mr. Thompson, this is Principal Morrison. We need you to come in." Marcus's heart stopped. "Is Emma okay?" "She's fine, physically. But there's been an incident. Can you be here in 30 minutes? He was there in 20. Principal Morrison's office smelled like old books and disappointment. Emma sat in a chair looking small and miserable. Her eyes were red. "What happened?" Marcus knelt beside her. "Tell your father what you told me," Principal Morrison said. Emma's voice was tiny. "Some kids said mean things." "What kind of mean things?" "They said—" She hiccuped. "They said you're only dating Victoria for her money. That we're poor and we're using her. That she's going to get tired of us and throw us away like trash." Marcus felt rage flood through him. "Who said that?" "Tommy's mom told Tommy and he told everyone at lunch." Tears ran down Emma's face. "Is it true, Daddy? Are we using her?" "No, baby, no." He pulled her into his arms. "Those people don't know anything about us." "But we are poor, And Victoria is rich. And she's our friend. That's all that matters. He looked at Principal Morrison. What are you doing about this? We've spoken to the children involved. But Mr. Thompson, I have to ask, is there any truth to these rumors? Because if there's an inappropriate relationship between you and Ms. Sterling, there's not. It does create an uncomfortable environment for Emma at school. Marcus stood. My daughter is being bullied, and you're asking if I'm dating someone. How about you do your job and protect her instead of listening to gossip? Mr. Thompson, I understand you're upset, but we're done here. He took Emma's hand. Come on, Em. They walked out. In the truck, Emma cried quietly. Marcus didn't know what to say, how to fix it. I'm sorry, baby. It's not your fault. She wiped her eyes. I liked having Victoria in our life. It felt like we had family again, like maybe things were getting better. Things are better. No, they're not. You're sad all the time. You won't talk to Victoria. And now everyone at school thinks we're bad people. She looked at him. What happened, Daddy? Marcus couldn't tell her about Castellano, about the threats, about how the world was set up so people like them couldn't have nice things without someone trying to take them away. It's complicated, he said instead. I'm 8, not stupid. I know you're not stupid. He pulled into their parking lot. Sometimes adults make things harder than they need to be, that's all. Is Victoria one of those adults? No, she's... He stopped. She's good, Em. She cares about us. Then why won't you talk to her? Because if I do, I lose everything. Because rich people and poor people don't get to be friends without someone getting hurt. Because the board is circling and I'm out of moves. I will, he said. Soon. I promise. Emma nodded, but she didn't look convinced. That night, after she was asleep, Marcus's phone rang again. Victoria. This time he answered. You're avoiding me, she said without preamble. I'm not. Don't lie. What did Richard say to you? Marcus closed his eyes. He said to stay away from you, or he'd fire me and come after you. Son of a bitch. A pause. What else? That if I don't back off, they'll remove you from the company. Say you're mentally unfit or emotionally compromised, or whatever corporate speak means you're done. They can try. They can succeed. Marcus's voice was harder than he meant. Victoria, they pulled my financials. They know everything. How broke I was. How fast you hired me. They're building a case that I'm using you, and you're too emotional to see it. That's insane. Is it? Look at us. I saved your life, and 3 days later, I'm making 6 figures. How's that look to the outside world? Silence, long and heavy. So what? Victoria said finally. You're just going to do what they say. Cut me off. Pretend we're not friends. I'm trying to protect you. I don't need protection. I need... Her voice broke. I need to know I didn't imagine this. That you and Emma aren't just another transaction. That when I was lying in that hospital bed thinking I might die, it mattered to you. Really mattered. Of course it mattered. Then act like it. She was crying now. I have spent my entire life surrounded by people who only care about what I can do for them. My ex-husbands wanted money. My board wants control. Everyone wants something. Except you. You didn't want anything. You just gave. And for the first time in decades, I felt like maybe I was worth saving. Not for my company, not for my money. Just for me. Marcus's chest ached. Victoria. I know what the board thinks. I know how it looks. But I don't care, Marcus. I'm 52 years old, and I've wasted enough time worrying about appearances. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going back to work tomorrow. I'm going to walk into that office and tell Richard Castellano and the entire board exactly where they can shove their investigation. And then I'm going to keep being your friend. Because that's the only thing in my life that feels real anymore. They'll fire you. Let them try. Her voice was steel now. I built that company from nothing. I own 42% of the stock. They can't remove me without a shareholder vote, and I've got enough allies to block it. Richard knows that. He's bluffing. What if he's not? Then I lose. But at least I lose fighting for something that matters. A pause. You matter, Marcus. You and Emma. Don't let them make you think otherwise. The line went quiet. Not dead. Just waiting. Marcus thought about Emma's tears, about the check he'd gotten from Victoria's lawyer after the first heart attack, $50,000 he'd returned, about how every good thing in his life somehow came with strings attached. I can't let you throw everything away for us, he said. You're not letting me do anything. This is my choice. Victoria's voice softened. When you saved my life, you didn't ask permission. You just did it. Let me do the same for you. It's not the same. It's exactly the same. You gave me breath. Let me give you hope. Please. Marcus looked at the card table, the folding chairs, the apartment that was finally warm. He thought about Sarah, about what she'd say if she were here. She'd say, "Stop being scared." "Okay," he whispered. "Okay. Okay." Louder now. "But I'm there with you. When you face the board, I'm standing right beside you." Victoria laughed, sounded like relief. "Deal. One more thing." "Yeah. Emma wants to know if you'll come to her science fair next week." A pause. Then, "I wouldn't miss it for anything." They hung up. Marcus sat there in the dark for a long time. Tomorrow, they'd face the board. Tomorrow, they'd probably lose their jobs and their reputations and everything they'd built. But tonight, he called his daughter into the living room and told her Victoria was coming to the science fair, and watched her face light up like Christmas morning. And that, Marcus thought, was worth fighting for. The next morning, Victoria walked into Sterling Industries wearing a red suit that meant war. Marcus met her in the lobby. "You ready?" she asked. "No, but let's do it anyway." They took the elevator to 22, together. Castellano's assistant tried to stop them. "Mr. Castellano is in a meeting." Victoria walked past her, opened the door. The entire board was there, sitting around the conference table, waiting. "Victoria, Castellano didn't stand. You're supposed to be on medical leave." "I'm supposed to be running my company." She sat at the head of the table. Marcus stood behind her. "I hear you've been busy in my absence. We've been concerned about my judgment." "Yes, Marcus told me." She looked around the table. "Let me make something very clear. Marcus Thompson is an employee in good standing. His hiring was based on merit. His work has saved this company hundreds of thousands of dollars, and my friendship with him is none of your damn business." Patricia leaned forward. "Victoria, we're trying to protect you." "From what? From having someone in my life who actually cares whether I live or die." Victoria's voice was sharp. "I had 2 heart attacks. This man saved me both times, and instead of thanking him, you're investigating him like a criminal. That tells me everything I need to know about this board's priorities." "We're concerned about the optics," the younger member started. "I don't give a damn about optics." Victoria stood. "Here's what's going to happen. The investigation into Marcus ends today. He keeps his position, and all of you go back to running your departments and stop worrying about my personal life." Castellano smiled. "Or what?" "Or I make some calls to shareholders, to the press. Tell them how the board spent company resources investigating an employee because I dared to be friends with him. How you threatened to remove me while I was recovering from major surgery. How you tried to blackmail a single father doing his job." She leaned on the table. "How do you think that plays, Richard?" His smile disappeared. "You're bluffing," Patricia said. "Try me." Victoria pulled out her phone. "I've got the Wall Street Journal on speed dial. Want to bet?" Silence. Finally, Castellano spoke. The investigation is dropped. And Mr. Thompson's position is secure. And he ground his teeth. And the board apologizes for overstepping. Victoria nodded, looked at Marcus. Anything you want to add? Marcus thought about it, about everything they'd put him through, about Emma crying in the principal's office. Yeah, he said. Don't ever threaten my daughter again. Whatever you think about me, she's 8 years old. She doesn't deserve your gossip or your judgment. Leave her out of this. No one spoke. Victoria smiled. We're done here. She walked out. Marcus followed. In the elevator, neither of them said anything until they reached the operations floor. That was, Marcus started. Terrifying, Victoria finished. I was going to say incredible. She laughed. I'm shaking. Me too. The elevator doors opened. Victoria turned to him. Marcus, thank you for standing with me. Always. She squeezed his hand. Then she was gone, heading back to her office. Marcus went to his own office, closed the door, let out a breath he'd been holding for 3 days. His phone buzzed. Text from Emma. Mrs. Chen says you're famous now. Are you? He smiled. Typed back. Just doing my job, baby. See you tonight. Her response came immediately. Love you, Daddy. Victoria's the best. Yeah, Marcus thought. She really is. That afternoon, everything felt almost normal. Marcus worked on shipping routes, attended meetings, avoided Castellano's floor entirely. At 4 p.m., his office phone rang. Victoria's assistant. Mr. Thompson, Ms. Sterling would like to see you. He went up. Victoria's office had flowers everywhere, dozens of bouquets, get well cards, the corporate version of sympathy. From the board members, she said, gesturing at them. Guilt flowers. I'm allergic to half of them. Marcus laughed. Want me to throw them out? God, yes, please. She sat on the edge of her desk. I wanted to thank you, properly, for everything. You already did. No, I didn't. Marcus, you put your job on the line for me. Again. You could have walked away, stayed quiet, let me fight my own battles. That's not who I am. I know. Her smile was soft. That's why you're sitting here. Marcus looked at her. Really looked. The woman who'd been a stranger 4 months ago, who'd become something more than a boss, something more than a friend, something that felt like family. Emma's science fair, he said. It's Thursday at 6. You still coming? I'll be there. Good. He stood to leave. Marcus, one more thing. He turned. Victoria's expression was serious. That question Emma asked you, about whether we're just using each other. She paused. Are we? No. You're sure? I'm sure. He met her eyes. You saved us as much as we saved you. Maybe more. Victoria nodded, looked away. Good. Because I'm not ready to lose this. Whatever this is. Neither am I. He left, walked back to his office, and for the first time since the first heart attack, Marcus felt like maybe, just maybe, everything was going to be okay. He was wrong, but he didn't know that yet. Thursday came fast. Emma wore her best dress and carried her science project, a model heart made from papier-mâché and red paint. How does the heart work? She'd explain to anyone who stopped. It's simple. It pumps blood. But it only works when it's connected to other hearts. That's what keeps us alive. Marcus watched her practice in the truck, proud enough to burst. They got to the school at 5:45. The gym was full of parents and projects and noise. Emma set up her table, arranged her heart model just so. She's coming, right? Emma asked for the 10th time. She's coming. 6 o'clock came and went. Victoria wasn't there. Emma's smile started to fade. She probably got stuck in traffic, Marcus said, checking his phone. Nothing. 6:15, 6:30. Other parents came by, asked questions. Emma answered, but her eyes kept going to the door. 6:45. She's not coming, Emma whispered. She is. She promised. But the gym was emptying now. The science fair ending. Emma started packing up her project, tears running down her face. It's okay. Her voice was small. She's busy. I understand. Marcus pulled out his phone, called Victoria, straight to voicemail. Hey, it's me. Emma's science fair just ended. Call me when you get this. He drove home in silence. Emma cried quietly in the passenger seat. At the apartment, Marcus tucked her into bed early, kissed her forehead. I love you, baby. Love you too. She rolled over, away from him. Marcus went to the kitchen, called Victoria again. Nothing. He called her assistant. This is Marcus Thompson. Is Victoria in the office? No, Mr. Thompson. She left at 4, said she had an important appointment. Ice in his stomach. Did she say where? No, but she seemed upset. She was moving fast. Wouldn't answer questions. Marcus hung up, called Victoria's cell again. Again. Nothing. At 11 p.m., his phone finally rang. Unknown number. Hello, Mr. Thompson. A voice he didn't recognize. Professional, careful. This is Grace Memorial Hospital. We have Victoria Sterling here. She asked us to call you. The world tilted. What happened? She collapsed at home. Cardiac arrest. We're Mr. Thompson, you should come. Now. Marcus was in the truck before the nurse finished talking. He drove to Mrs. Chen's apartment, knocked hard enough to wake half the building. She opened the door in her bathrobe. Marcus? What? I need you to watch Emma. Now, please. Something in his face must have told her not to ask questions. How long? I don't know. He pressed 320s into her hand. All the cash he had. I'll call when I can. Go. She'll be fine. Marcus ran back down, drove to Grace Memorial going 20 over the limit and praying no cops stopped him. The ER was chaos. He pushed through to the desk. Victoria Sterling. Where is she? The nurse typed. Are you family? Yes. The lie came easy now. Where is she? Cardiac ICU, 4th floor. But sir, you can't. Marcus was already running for the elevators. 4th floor. The ICU nurse station. A different nurse, older, kinder looking. Victoria Sterling, I'm Marcus Thompson. She asked you to call me. Recognition crossed her face. Room 412. But Mr. Thompson, you should know she's critical. We're still stabilizing her. Can I see her? 5 minutes, that's all. Room 412 was all machines and monitors and that hospital smell that brought back every nightmare from Sarah's last days. Victoria was unconscious. Breathing tube down her throat. IVs in both arms. Her skin had that gray color again. Marcus took her hand. It was cold. I'm here, he whispered. I'm right here. Don't you dare give up on me. You hear me? Emma needs you. I need you. So you fight. You fight like hell. Her fingers twitched. Barely. But he felt it. A doctor came in. Young woman, exhausted eyes, name tag, said Dr. Reeves. Mr. Thompson? Yeah. I'm Dr. Reeves. I need to talk to you about Victoria's condition. Marcus didn't let go of Victoria's hand. Tell me. 3rd cardiac arrest in 4 months. Her heart is severely damaged. The bypass we did last time helped, but it's not enough. Her heart muscle is failing. What does that mean? Dr. Reeves met his eyes. It means without intervention, she has days, maybe a week. The room tilted. What kind of intervention? She needs a heart transplant. The words didn't make sense. A transplant. It's the only option. We can put her on the transplant list immediately, but... She hesitated. The wait can be months, sometimes years. And in her condition, we don't have that kind of time. So what are you saying? I'm saying we need to discuss end-of-life care. What her wishes would be if... No. Marcus's voice was steel. No end-of-life anything. You put her on that list. You do whatever it takes. She doesn't get to die. Mr. Thompson, I understand you're upset. I'm not upset. I'm telling you what's going to happen. Victoria Sterling is a fighter. She's survived 3 heart attacks. She's going to survive this too, so you stop talking about her dying and start figuring out how to keep her alive. Dr. Reeves looked at him for a long moment. Okay, we'll put her on the transplant list, but you need to understand the odds aren't good, and she'll need to stay in ICU until we find a match. That could be a very long time. Then we wait. The doctor nodded, left. Marcus sat in the chair beside Victoria's bed, held her hand, watched her chest rise and fall with the ventilator. You're not dying, he said again. I won't let you. His phone buzzed. Emma. He'd forgotten to call Mrs. Chen. He stepped into the hallway. Hey, baby. Daddy. Where are you? Her voice was small, scared. Hospital. Silence. Then, is it Victoria? Yeah. Is she... Emma's voice broke. Is she dying? Marcus closed his eyes. She's sick, Em. Really sick. But the doctors are helping her. I want to see her. Not tonight. It's late and... Please, Daddy, I need to see her. I need to tell her I'm sorry. Sorry for what? For being mad that she missed the science fair. What if she dies and the last thing I thought about her was being mad? Marcus's heart shattered. Baby, she's not going to die, and she's not mad at you. She loves you. Then let me see her, please. He should say no. Should protect her from seeing Victoria like this, tubes and machines and unconscious. But Emma had already lost one person she loved. If something happened to Victoria, she'd never forgive him for not letting her say goodbye. Okay, tomorrow after school, I'll pick you up. Promise. Promise. They hung up. Marcus went back into the room. A nurse was checking Victoria's vitals. She looked up. You should go home. Get some rest. We'll call if anything changes. I'm staying. Visiting hours. I'm staying. He met her eyes. Try to make me leave. She sighed. I'll bring you a blanket. Marcus spent that night in the chair beside Victoria's bed. Dozed off around 3 a.m. Woke up every time a machine beeped. At 6 a.m. his phone rang. Unknown number again. His heart stopped. Hello. Mr. Thompson, this is Richard Castellano. Not the hospital. Marcus exhaled. How did you get this number? I have resources. Where's Victoria? None of your business. She missed an emergency board meeting last night. Didn't answer her phone. Her assistant said you might know where she is. A pause. Is she sick again? Marcus wanted to tell him to go to hell. But something in Castellano's voice, actual concern, not the corporate kind, made him hesitate. She's in ICU. Heart failure. She needs a transplant. Silence. Long enough that Marcus thought he'd hung up. Then, which hospital? Grace Memorial. Why? Because despite what you think of me, I've known Victoria for 20 years, and I'm coming. The line went dead. Marcus stared at his phone, tried to figure out if that was a threat or something else. An hour later, Castellano walked into the ICU. No suit, just jeans and a jacket. He looked older without the corporate armor. Tired. How is she? He asked. Unconscious, waiting for a heart. Castellano walked to the window, looked at Victoria. How long does she have? Days, maybe a week. Christ. He rubbed his face. This is my fault. Marcus looked up. What? The stress, the board meetings, The investigation into you. I pushed too hard. I knew she was sick and I pushed anyway. Why? Castellano turned. Because I'm good at running companies and terrible at being human. He sat in the other chair. Victoria and I started Sterling Industries together, 23 years ago. She was 30. I was 28. We had nothing but an idea and a lot of nerve. Marcus didn't say anything, just listened. She wanted to change the world. I wanted to make money. For 15 years that worked. Then she had her first divorce, then her second. She started working more, living less, became the woman you met on that pavement, all power, no heart. He smiled sadly. I thought she was fine. Thought that's who she wanted to be. Then you saved her life and something changed. She started smiling again. Taking time off. Caring about things that weren't quarterly reports. He looked at Marcus. You know what she told me after she hired you? No. She said, Richard, I forgot what it feels like to be proud of something good. Not profitable. Just good. Castellano's voice was rough. And instead of being happy for her, I got scared. Scared she'd realize she didn't need the company anymore. Didn't need me. So I tried to push you out. To keep things the way they were. Because I'm a selfish bastard who can't stand change. Marcus processed that. You really thought I was using her. At first. Then I did the investigation and realized you're exactly what she said you are. A good man who saved her life and asked for nothing in return. He shook his head. That terrified me more than if you were a con artist, because it meant she found something real, and I couldn't control that. You still tried to fire me. I did, and I'm sorry, for what that's worth. It wasn't worth much, but it was something. They sat there in silence. Two men who barely knew each other watching a woman they both cared about fight for her life. At noon, Dr. Reeves came back. We have an update. Victoria's been moved up on the transplant list. Given her condition and her status, she's priority 1 in this region. What does that mean? Marcus asked. It means if a compatible heart becomes available, she's first in line. But Mr. Thompson... Her expression was serious. Even if we find a match today, the surgery is extremely risky. Her body is weak. The chances of complications are high. But she'd have a chance. Yes, she'd have a chance. Then we wait. Dr. Reeves nodded. Left. Castellano stood. I need to make some calls. Try to clear her schedule. Keep the board from panicking. They're going to want to remove her. Let them try. Castellano smiled. I helped build this company too, and I'm not letting them destroy what's left of her while she's fighting for her life. He headed for the door, stopped. Thompson, for what it's worth, you're good for her. Don't let the board make you think otherwise. He left. Marcus sat back down, took Victoria's hand again. You hear that you've got people fighting for you, so you need to fight too. Emma's coming to see you later. She wants to tell you about her science project, so you need to wake up. Okay, you need to wake up. Victoria's eyes moved under her lids. Her fingers squeezed his, barely, but he felt it. At 3 p.m., Marcus picked Emma up from school. She'd been crying. He could tell. You ready? He asked. She nodded, clutched a piece of paper to her chest. They drove to the hospital in silence. The ICU nurse, same one from last night, saw them coming. She's not cleared for child visitors. Please. Marcus's voice cracked. 5 minutes, that's all. The nurse looked at Emma, at the paper in her hands, at Marcus's face. 5 minutes. Emma walked into the room slowly, stopped when she saw Victoria. All the tubes, the machines, the ventilator. Daddy. It's okay. She's just sleeping. The machines are helping her breathe. Emma moved closer, took Victoria's other hand. Hi, Victoria. It's me, Emma. No response, just the steady beep of monitors. I brought you a picture from my science project, the one you missed. Her voice was small. It's okay you missed it. I know you didn't mean to, You were getting sick and you didn't want me to see. Right. Marcus's throat was tight. I made a heart. A real one. Well, a model. And I told everyone that hearts only work when they're connected to other hearts. That's what keeps us alive. Emma's tears fell on the blanket. Your heart is sick, but mine's really strong, and Daddy's is too. So maybe if we're close enough, our hearts can help yours. Like how you jumpstart a car battery. Mrs. Chen showed me once. She climbed onto the chair, laid her head on Victoria's arm, careful of the IVs. Please don't die, she whispered. Please. I already lost my mommy. I can't lose you too. You're like family, and I don't have much of that. So please wake up. Marcus watched his daughter cry against a woman she'd known for 4 months. Watched her hold on like Victoria was the only thing keeping her from floating away. And he realized it wasn't just Victoria who'd been saved that night on Fifth Avenue. It was all of them. The nurse appeared in the doorway. Time's up. 1 more minute, Marcus said. Sir. 1 more minute, please. The nurse left. Emma sat up, put the drawing on Victoria's bedside table. I'll come back tomorrow, and the day after, every day until you wake up. Okay, so you have to wake up, because I'm not giving up on you. She kissed Victoria's hand, climbed down. Marcus hugged her. You did good, baby. Can we stay longer? Not tonight, but we'll come back tomorrow, I promise. They left. In the truck, Emma was quiet for a long time. Then, Daddy, what happens if she dies? Marcus didn't have a good answer. She's not going to die. But what if she does? Then, his voice broke. Then we remember how lucky we were to know her, even for a little while. Emma nodded, wiped her eyes. I don't want to be lucky. I want her to stay. Me too, baby. Me too. That night, Marcus couldn't sleep. Kept checking his phone, waiting for a call from the hospital. At 2 a.m. it rang. He answered before the first ring finished. Hello. Mr. Thompson. Dr. Reeves. We have a match. His heart stopped. What? A heart. It's compatible. The donor is in surgery now. If all goes well, we can transplant in 4 hours. 4 hours? I need you to come in, sign consent forms, and Mr. Thompson. She paused. You should know. Victoria's chances of surviving this surgery are about 50-50. Maybe less. Her body is weak. There will be complications, but without the surgery, she dies within days. So, do it. You understand the risks. Do it. Whatever it takes, she gets that heart. We'll prep her now. Get here as fast as you can. Marcus was out the door in 30 seconds. Called Mrs. Chen from the truck. Marcus, it's 2 a.m. They found a heart. For Victoria. Surgery's in 4 hours. Oh, thank God. You need me to keep Emma. Yeah, and Mrs. Chen. If something happens if I don't come back tonight. Don't talk like that. If I don't tell Emma I love her, and that Victoria loved her too, and that some people are worth fighting for, even when you lose. Marcus, promise me. I promise. Now go, and bring that woman home. Marcus drove faster than he should have, made it to the hospital in 15 minutes. Dr. Reeves met him in the surgical waiting room. Had him sign papers. Lots of papers. All of them basically saying Victoria might die and they weren't responsible. He signed everything. We're taking her in now, Dr. Reeves said. Surgery will take 8 to 10 hours. You should go home. I'm staying. She nodded, like she'd expected that. I'll update you when I can. She left. Marcus sat in that waiting room alone. 3 a.m. The hospital was quiet. Just machines beeping somewhere and fluorescent lights humming. He prayed. Not because he was particularly religious, but because Sarah used to say prayers were just hope dressed in better words. So he hoped. At 6 a.m. Castellano showed up. brought coffee. Heard about the surgery, he said, handing Marcus a cup. How? Her assistant. I'm still listed as emergency contact. He sat down. How you holding up? I'm not. Fair. They sat there, drinking coffee, not talking. At 7, Victoria's assistant arrived. Then 2 other executives Marcus recognized. Then more. By 8 a.m., the waiting room was full of Sterling Industries people, all of them quiet, all of them waiting. She'd hate this, Castellano said quietly. All of us fussing. She'd love it, Marcus corrected. She'd never admit it, but she'd love it. Hours dragged. Marcus paced, checked his phone, texted Emma surgery going good. Love you. Emma texted back immediately. Tell Victoria I love her too. Tell the doctors to be careful with her heart. It's important. At noon, Dr. Reeves appeared. Everyone stood. She looked exhausted. Surgical mask hanging around her neck. Her scrubs had blood on them. The transplant was successful, she said. The waiting room exhaled. But, Dr. Reeves continued, Victoria went into cardiac arrest twice during surgery. We brought her back both times. The new heart is functioning, but she's extremely weak. The next 24 hours are critical. If she survives that, she paused. Then we can start talking about recovery. Can I see her? Marcus asked. Recovery room, 10 minutes. No more. Marcus followed her through double doors, down hallways, into a room full of machines and monitors and nurses, and Victoria. She looked small, fragile, chest wrapped in bandages, breathing tubes still in. But her color was better, not gray, almost pink. Marcus took her hand, careful of all the wires and tubes. You did it, he whispered. You got your new heart. Now you just need to heal. That's all. Just heal. Her fingers twitched against his. A nurse appeared. Time's up, sir. Can I come back? Tomorrow, if she's stable. Marcus didn't want to leave, but he nodded, kissed Victoria's forehead. See you tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. He left. In the waiting room, everyone looked at him. She made it through surgery, he said. Next 24 hours are critical. Nods, relieved smiles. People started leaving, going back to work, to their lives. Castellano stayed. You should go home, get some sleep. See your daughter. Yeah. Marcus felt dead on his feet. Yeah, I should. Thompson. Castellano held out his hand. Thank you, for caring about her when the rest of us forgot how. Marcus shook it. She made it easy. He drove home, found Emma and Mrs. Chen making breakfast in his apartment. Emma ran to him. Is she okay? She's got a new heart. The doctors say if she makes it through today, she'll be okay. When can I see her? Soon. Maybe tomorrow if she wakes up. Emma hugged him tight. I knew she'd make it. She's strong. Like you. Marcus held his daughter and let himself cry for the first time in 3 days. 24 hours later, Victoria opened her eyes. Marcus was there. Had been there since the nurses let him back in at 6 a.m. Holding her hand. Talking to her even though she couldn't respond. Her eyes focused on him slowly. Confused. Then recognition. She tried to talk, but the breathing tube was still in. Don't, Marcus said. Don't try to talk. You had surgery. Heart transplant. You're okay. You're going to be okay. Her eyes filled with tears. A nurse came in. She's awake. Good. Let me get the doctor. Dr. Reeves arrived within minutes. Checked vitals. Examined Victoria. Smiled. Welcome back, Ms. Sterling. You gave us quite a scare. Victoria's eyes went to Marcus, questioning. You've been out for 36 hours, he said. Surgery went well. New heart's working. You just need to heal now. She squeezed his hand. Dr. Reeves removed the breathing tube carefully. Victoria coughed, gasped. Her voice was rough. Emma. She's fine. Driving me crazy asking when she can visit. Good. Victoria's smile was weak but real. That's good. We'll keep you in ICU for another few days, Dr. Reeves said. Then move you to a regular room. Recovery will take months, but if all goes well, you'll make a full recovery. Victoria nodded. Her eyes were already closing again. Sleep, Marcus said. I'll be here when you wake up. Promise? Promise. She fell asleep still holding his hand. Marcus sat there and watched her breathe on her own for the first time in days. Watched the monitor show her new heart beating strong and steady. And he thought about that night on Fifth Avenue. How he'd knelt beside a stranger and breathed life into her lungs without knowing who she was or what she'd become to him. How sometimes the best things in life happened when you stopped being scared and just acted. How Sarah had been right about that. He pulled out his phone. Texted Emma. She's awake. She asked about you first thing. You can see her tomorrow. Emma's response was immediate. Tell her I love her. Marcus smiled. Hey, Victoria. Emma says she loves you. Victoria's eyes opened halfway. Love her too. And Marcus. Yeah. Thank you. For not letting me die alone. You'll never be alone again. That's a promise. She smiled, fell back asleep. And Marcus sat there in that ICU room and watched the sun rise through the window and felt something he hadn't felt in years. Complete. 3 days later, they moved Victoria to a regular room. Still weak, still connected to monitors, but breathing on her own. Sitting up, talking. Emma was the first visitor allowed in. She walked slowly, holding Marcus's hand tight. Stopped at the doorway when she saw Victoria. It's okay, Marcus said. She's awake. See? Victoria turned her head, smiled. Hey, sweetheart. Emma burst into tears and ran to the bed. Victoria caught her carefully wincing, but holding on. I thought you were going to die. Emma sobbed into Victoria's shoulder. I thought I'd never see you again. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. Victoria stroked her hair, looked at Marcus over Emma's head. Her eyes were wet too. I brought you something. Emma pulled back, wiping her face. She dug in her backpack and pulled out the drawing. The heart from her science project. To remind you that hearts work better when they're connected. Victoria took it with shaking hands, studied it. It's perfect. Will you hang it up for me? Right there where I can see it. Emma nodded. Found tape at the nurse's station. Hung the drawing on the wall across from Victoria's bed. There. Now you can look at it whenever you're sad. Thank you, baby. Victoria held out her hand. Emma took it. I'm sorry I missed your science fair. It's okay. You were dying. That's a good excuse. Victoria laughed, then winced. Don't make me laugh. It hurts. Sorry. Emma climbed carefully onto the chair beside the bed. Daddy says you have a new heart now. From someone who died. That's right. Do you know who they were? Victoria's expression shifted. Something Marcus hadn't seen before. Sadness mixed with gratitude. No. The doctors don't tell us. It's anonymous. That's sad. You should know who saved you. I do know. Victoria looked at Marcus. Your dad saved me. 3 times now. 4 times, Marcus corrected. I called the ambulance that first night. 4 times then, Victoria smiled. I'm building up quite a debt. No debt, Marcus said. We're family. Family doesn't keep score. Emma nodded firmly. That's what Daddy always says. Family means you show up, even when it's hard. Victoria's eyes filled again. Your daddy's a smart man. They stayed for an hour. Emma told Victoria about school, about how Tommy stopped being mean after his mom found out Victoria was sick about the new book she was reading. Normal things. Normal, easy things. When visiting hours ended, Emma hugged Victoria goodbye. I'll come back tomorrow. And the day after. Every day until you come home. I'd like that. Marcus walked Emma to Mrs. Chen's apartment. Came back alone. Victoria was staring at Emma's drawing when he returned. You okay? He asked. Someone died so I could live. Her voice was quiet. Someone's family is grieving right now while I'm here getting better. How do I live with that? Marcus sat in the chair Emma had vacated. You live well. You make it mean something. That's all you can do. Is it enough? It has to be. Victoria nodded, looked at him. Marcus, when I was under during the surgery, I dreamed about Sarah. His breath caught. What? She was young, healthy. She told me to stop being afraid, that you and Emma needed me to be brave. Victoria's hands twisted the blanket. Then she said, take care of them for me. And I woke up. Marcus couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. I don't know if it was real or just my brain doing weird things from the anesthesia, but it felt real. And I wanted you to know. Sarah would have liked you, Marcus managed. She always said the best people are the ones who keep fighting, even when they're terrified. I am terrified. All the time, even before the heart attacks. Victoria looked out the window. Terrified of being alone, of dying and nobody caring, of building this empire and realizing it meant nothing. She turned back. Then you knelt beside me on that pavement, and suddenly I wasn't alone anymore. And that terrified me more than dying did. Why? Because caring about people means you can lose them. I've lost 3 husbands. Not to death, just to my own inability to be human. I thought if I stopped caring, stopped letting people in, I'd be safe. She smiled sadly. Turns out I was just empty. Marcus reached over, took her hand. You're not empty now. No, now I'm full. And I don't know what to do with that. You live with it. You let yourself be happy. You stop fighting everything and just... He struggled for words. Just be. I don't know how to just be. Then learn. You've got time now. And people who want to help. Victoria squeezed his hand. Stay a little longer. I'm not going anywhere. They sat in comfortable silence. Marcus in the chair. Victoria in the bed, hands connected, watching the sun set through the hospital window. The peace lasted 2 days. Castellano showed up Tuesday afternoon while Marcus was at work. Victoria called him immediately. The board's making a move, she said without preamble. Marcus put down the shipping manifest he'd been reviewing. What kind of move? Emergency meeting tomorrow. They're voting on whether to remove me as CEO. Richard tried to stop it, but he doesn't have the votes. Can they do that? You own 42% of voting shares. But the board can remove a CEO they deem unfit to lead. Medical incapacity. They're using my heart attacks as justification. You just had surgery. I know. But they're not wrong, Marcus. I've been in the hospital more than the office these past 4 months. I missed crucial meetings. Nearly died 3 times. From a business perspective, I'm a liability. From a human perspective, you're recovering from major surgery. Business doesn't care about human perspectives. Her voice was bitter. Richard says if I don't show up tomorrow and fight, they'll install Patricia Hendricks as interim CEO. And we both know interim becomes permanent real fast. You can't leave the hospital. The doctors said I need rest and low stress. Going back to work is neither of those things. But if I don't, I lose everything I built. Marcus closed his office door. What do you want to do? Silence. Long enough that he thought she'd hung up. Then, I want to let it go. What? The company, the CEO position, all of it. Victoria's voice was quiet but steady. I'm 52 years old, and I've spent 30 years building an empire that almost killed me. Maybe it's time to step back. Let someone else run things while I figure out how to actually live. You mean that? I think I do. For the first time in my life, I have people I care about more than quarterly earnings. You, Emma. Even Richard, though he drives me insane. And I almost didn't get to keep any of it because I worked myself into 3 heart attacks." She laughed, but it sounded like crying. "So yeah, maybe it's time to choose differently." Marcus thought about that, about Victoria walking away from Sterling Industries, about what that would mean. "The board meeting is tomorrow at 2 p.m., Victoria continued. "I could show up, fight, probably win because Richard's backing me and he's got influence. Or I could call them right now and resign, on my terms, not theirs. What does your heart tell you to do? My heart is 24 hours old and doesn't get a vote yet." But she was smiling. He could hear it. "What do you think?" "I think." Marcus chose his words carefully. "I think you should do whatever lets you sleep at night. And if that means walking away from the company, then walk away. But if that means fighting one more time to keep what's yours, then fight. Either way, you're not alone. If I resign, they'll come after you next. You know that, right? I'm the only thing protecting your position. Let them try. I've been fired before. I'll survive." Victoria was quiet again. Then, "Marcus, what are we doing here?" "What do you mean?" "This. You and me. You're sitting in your office talking me through a career crisis like it's the most natural thing in the world. I'm calling you instead of my lawyers or my executives. Emma draws me pictures and visits me every day like I'm—" She stopped. "Like I'm family. And I don't understand how this happened. How a stranger became the most important person in my life in 4 months." Marcus's throat was tight. "I don't understand it either, but I'm not fighting it anymore." "Neither am I." Her voice softened. "I'll call the board. Tell them I'm stepping down. Patricia can have the CEO position. Richard can have the headache. And I can have time to heal, to figure out what comes next." "Yeah, time sounds good." They hung up. Marcus sat at his desk and realized his hands were shaking. Not from fear this time, from something else. Something that felt dangerously close to hope. His phone buzzed. Text from Victoria. "Thank you for reminding me what matters." He typed back, "Anytime." Then added, "Proud of you." Her response came immediately. "Don't make me cry. These nurses already think I'm unstable." Marcus smiled, went back to work. That night, Victoria called an emergency board meeting by conference from her hospital room. Marcus wasn't there, but Castellano told him later what happened. Victoria on speakerphone, weak but clear. "I'm resigning as CEO effective immediately. Patricia, the position is yours. Richard. I'm staying on the board but stepping back from day-to-day operations." Questions. Dead silence. Then Patricia. "Victoria, you don't have to do this. We can wait until you're recovered." "I'm not doing this because you're forcing me out. I'm doing it because I almost died, and I'm choosing to live instead. There's a difference." More silence. "Richard. What will you do?" "I don't know yet. Rest. Recover. Spend time with people I care about. Figure out who I am when I'm not running a company." A pause. "But I'll be watching. And if you run my company into the ground, I'll come back and take it away from you. Clear." Nervous laughter. "Patricia, crystal clear. And Victoria, thank you. For everything you built. We won't let you down. See that you don't." She hung up. Just like that, 30 years of empire building ended with a phone call. Castellano visited her an hour later, found her crying. "Second thoughts?" he asked. "No, just processing." She wiped her eyes. "I built that company from nothing, Richard. It was my whole life. And I just gave it away in 5 minutes." "You didn't give it away. You chose something else. There's a difference." "Is there?" He sat down. 23 years ago, you told me we were going to change the world, and we did. We built something that mattered, employed thousands of people, changed industries, made a difference." He smiled. "But somewhere along the way, we forgot why we started. We got so busy running the empire, we forgot to live in it." "When did you get so philosophical?" When I watched you almost die 3 times and realized I'd spent 20 years working beside you and barely knew you. That's not success, Victoria. That's just sad." She laughed, cried. "I'm going to miss it. The work, the challenge, the feeling of building something. So build something else, something smaller, something that doesn't require 60-hour weeks and constant stress." He stood. "You've got time now, and a second chance most people don't get. Don't waste it trying to be who you were. Figure out who you want to be." After he left, Victoria stared at Emma's drawing on the wall. Hearts work better when they're connected. She picked up her phone, called Marcus. "Hey," he answered. "You okay?" "I did it. I resigned." "How do you feel?" "Terrified, relieved, free, all of it at once." "That sounds about right." "Marcus, can you and Emma come by tomorrow? I want to talk to you about something." "What?" "Tomorrow. I need to say it in person." "Okay. After Emma's school, around 4. "Perfect. And Marcus? Thank you for being proud of me. Nobody's said that to me in a very long time." "Get used to it." They hung up. Victoria lay back in her hospital bed and felt something she hadn't felt in years. Peace. The next day, Emma and Marcus arrived at 4:15. Emma brought flowers from the hospital gift shop, daisies in a plastic vase. "They're beautiful," Victoria said. "Put them right next to your drawing." Emma did, then climbed into her usual chair. "Daddy says you quit your job." "I did." "Are you sad?" "A little, but mostly relieved." "Mrs. Chen says when you quit a job, you don't like you're brave. Are you brave?" Victoria smiled. "I'm trying to be." "Good, you should be. Because brave people are the best people. Daddy's brave. He saved you even though he was scared. That's what brave means." Marcus cleared his throat. Why don't you go get a snack from the vending machine I gave you quarters this morning?" Emma's eyes lit up. "Can I get cookies?" "1 pack. And don't eat them all at once." She ran out. Victoria waited until the door closed. "You wanted privacy." "You said you had something to say." "I do." She took a breath. This was harder than resigning from the company. "Marcus, I need to tell you something and I need you to just listen, okay?" He nodded. "When I woke up from surgery and saw you sitting there, the first thing I felt wasn't relief that I was alive. It was relief that you were there, that I didn't wake up alone." Her hands twisted the blanket. "And I realized something. I'm in love with you." Marcus went very still. "I know it's fast. I know it's complicated. I know you lost Sarah, and you probably don't feel the same way, and that's okay. But I'm 52 years old, and I just got a second chance at life, and I'm done being afraid of caring about people." She met his eyes. "So there it is. I love you. And I love Emma. And if you want to just stay friends, that's fine. But I needed you to know." The silence stretched. Then Marcus started laughing. Victoria's face fell. "Oh God, I'm sorry. Forget I said anything." "Victoria." He moved closer, took her hand. "I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because I've been in love with you for 2 months and I thought I was insane." She stared. "What?" "Since that day you came to Emma's science fair. Since you knelt down and talked to her like she mattered. Since you remembered her project and asked questions and made her feel seen." He smiled. "I went home that night and thought I'm in love with a billionaire CEO and I have no idea what to do about it." "You love me." "Yeah, I really do." Victoria started crying. "This is the worst timing. I'm in a hospital bed. I can't even hug you properly without pulling an IV." "I don't care about timing." Marcus leaned over carefully, kissed her forehead. "I care about you. What about Sarah?" "Sarah would tell me to stop being an idiot and let myself be happy. She'd probably really like you, actually. You're both stubborn and smart and completely terrifying when you want to be. Victoria laughed through tears. I'm terrifying. In the best way. The door opened. Emma walked in eating cookies, stopped, looked at them. Are you guys kissing? Not yet, Marcus said, but we're working on it. Emma grinned. Finally, I told Mrs. Chen you liked each other. She said I was imagining things. But I was right. I'm always right about love stuff. Oh, really? Victoria wiped her eyes, smiling. What else are you right about? That you're going to be my new mom. Not replace my real mom, but like an extra mom. Is that okay? Victoria looked at Marcus. He nodded. That's more than okay, sweetheart. That's perfect. Emma climbed onto the bed. Careful of the wires. Hugged Victoria. Good, because I already drew a picture of our family. It's me and Daddy and you. Want to see? More than anything. Emma pulled out a folded paper from her backpack. Unfolded it. 3 stick figures holding hands. 1 tall one, medium, 1 small. All of them smiling. Above it, in careful crayon letters, Our Family. Victoria's tears came harder. Can I keep this? It's yours. I made it for you. Marcus watched his daughter and the woman he loved sitting together on that hospital bed. Watched them look at a crayon drawing like it was the most precious thing in the world. And he thought about that night on Fifth Avenue, about how he'd almost walked past Victoria, almost kept going home to his empty apartment and his empty life, about how one decision, one moment of choosing to help instead of turning away had changed everything. Daddy, you're crying, Emma said. Happy tears, baby. Just happy tears. Those are the best kind. She looked at Victoria. When can you come home? Soon. Maybe next week if the doctors say I'm ready. Where will you go to your big apartment? Victoria hesitated, looked at Marcus. I don't know yet. I haven't thought about it. You could stay with us, Emma said immediately. We don't have a lot of room, but we could make space. Daddy could sleep on the couch, and you could have his bed, and I could sleep with you if you get scared at night, because hospitals are scary, and you probably don't want to be alone. Marcus interrupted gently. Victoria's apartment is probably a little more comfortable than our place. But it's empty. She said so. Empty apartments are sad. Emma looked at Victoria. Right. Victoria agreed softly. Very sad. So you should stay with us, just until you're all better. Then you can go back to your empty apartment if you want. But at least you won't be alone while your heart is still learning to work. Marcus met Victoria's eyes over Emma's head, saw the question there. He nodded. Okay, Victoria said. If it's okay with your dad, I'd love to stay with you. Just for a little while. Emma cheered, hugged Victoria again. This is the best day ever. Wait until I tell Tommy. His mom is going to be so jealous. Probably shouldn't tell everyone at school, Marcus suggested. Let's keep it just between us for now. Okay. It'll be our secret. Like a family secret. Because that's what we are now. A family. Victoria looked at Marcus. Mouthed thank you. He mouthed back, I love you. She smiled. Mouthed, I love you too. And Emma, caught up in her own excitement, kept talking about how they'd rearrange the apartment and where Victoria would put her clothes and whether she liked pancakes because Daddy made really good pancakes on Sundays. Marcus let her talk. Let himself imagine Victoria in their tiny apartment, making coffee in their kitchen, sitting at their card table, being part of their life in a real, tangible way. It wouldn't be easy. Rich woman in a poor man's apartment. Recovery and complications, and all the things that came with a heart transplant. But they'd figure it out. Because that's what families did. They showed up, even when it was hard. Especially when it was hard. Victoria came home on a Tuesday morning in early December. The doctors released her with a list of medications as long as Marcus's arm instructions for physical therapy, and warnings about infection and rejection, and a dozen other things that could go wrong. She needs complete rest, Dr. Reeves said, walking them to the hospital entrance. No stress, no heavy lifting. Someone should be with her 24/7 for at least the first month. "I took family leave," Marcus said. "I'll be there." Dr. Reeves looked at him. At Victoria. At the way they held hands like letting go meant drowning. "You two are good for each other. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." Marcus drove carefully. Every pothole felt like it might shatter Victoria. She sat in the passenger seat looking pale and thin, and more fragile than he'd ever seen her. "You okay?" he asked. Terrified. "What if your apartment has stairs I can't climb? What if I'm too weak to do anything? What if I'm just a burden?" "Fourth floor. You've climbed them before, and you're not a burden. You're family." She nodded. Didn't look convinced. The building looked different through Victoria's eyes. Marcus saw it now, the crumbling brick, the broken mailboxes, the graffiti that never got cleaned. Saw it the way a woman who lived in a penthouse would see it. "It's not much," he said, parking. "It's home." Victoria squeezed his hand. "That's more than I've had in a long time." They climbed the 4 flights slowly. Victoria had to stop on every landing to catch her breath. Marcus stayed close, ready to catch her. "I used to run marathons," she said on the 3rd landing. "Now I can barely climb stairs." "You had major surgery. Give it time." "I hate being weak." "You're not weak. You're healing. Different thing." They made it to 4B. Marcus opened the door. Emma had decorated. Paper chains hung from the ceiling. A banner made from printer paper taped together said, "Welcome home, Victoria," in crayon. Flowers from the dollar store sat on the card table in a mason jar. Victoria stopped in the doorway. Started crying. "Do you like it?" Emma appeared from the bedroom, bouncing. "I made everything myself. Well, Mrs. Chen helped with the high parts because Daddy said I'm not allowed to stand on chairs. But I did all the coloring." "It's perfect." Victoria knelt down carefully, slowly, and hugged Emma. "Thank you, sweetheart." "Come see your room." Emma grabbed Victoria's hand, gentle, like Marcus had taught her. Led her to the bedroom. Marcus's bedroom. The only bedroom. He'd cleaned it top to bottom, changed the sheets, moved his clothes to the living room, put fresh flowers on the nightstand, real ones this time, from an actual florist. "Daddy gave you his bed because it's more comfortable," Emma explained. "And I put extra pillows in case your back hurts. And there's a glass of water on the table because medicine makes you thirsty. And oh, I made you this." She pulled a small box from under the bed. Construction paper covered in stickers. Inside was a bracelet made from yarn and beads. "It's a healing bracelet," Emma said seriously. "Every color means something. Red for love, blue for calm, green for health, yellow for happiness. You're supposed to wear it until you're all better." Victoria's hands shook as she tied it around her wrist. "I'll never take it off." "Even when you shower?" "Even then." Emma beamed. "Good, because it only works if you keep it on." Marcus watched them from the doorway. His daughter and the woman he loved in his bedroom that was now Victoria's bedroom. The apartment felt different, fuller, like something that had been missing finally clicked into place. That night, Victoria insisted on eating dinner at the card table with them, even though Marcus had suggested she rest in bed. "I've spent 3 weeks in a hospital bed," she said. "I want to eat with my family." So they sat together. Marcus had made spaghetti, nothing fancy, just jarred sauce and noodles. Emma talked non-stop about school and her friends, and how Tommy's mom asked if Victoria was really living with them now. "What did you tell her?" Victoria asked. "That it's none of her business. That's what Daddy says to say when people are nosy." Marcus nearly choked on his water. What you do say that." Victoria laughed, then winced, hand going to her chest. "You okay?" Marcus was up immediately. "Fine, just sore. The doctor said laughing would hurt for a while." She smiled at Emma. "But it's worth it." After dinner, Emma helped Victoria to the bedroom. Marcus cleaned up the kitchen, listening to their voices through the thin wall. Do you get scared at night? Emma asked. Sometimes. Do you? Yeah. After Mommy died, I used to get really scared. But then Daddy started leaving the hallway light on, and it got better. We can leave it on for you too if you want. I'd like that. And if you have bad dreams, you can come get me. My bed is right in the living room on the couch. Well, it's Daddy's couch, but it's my bed now because you have the bedroom. But I don't mind. The couch is fun. You're a very special girl, Emma. You know that? Daddy says that too. I think he's biased because he's my dad. But if you say it too, then maybe it's true. It's definitely true. Marcus finished the dishes, went to say goodnight. Emma was curled up next to Victoria on the bed, both of them looking at a picture book. This was my mommy, Emma said, pointing to a photo tucked in the pages. Sarah, young and healthy and smiling. She was really pretty and nice, and she made the best chocolate chip cookies. Victoria studied the photo. She was beautiful. You look like her. Everyone says that. Do you think she'd be mad that you're here? What do you think? Emma was quiet for a moment. I think she'd be happy, because Daddy smiles more now, and I don't feel so alone anymore. And you're really nice, even though you're rich and you could be mean if you wanted, but you're not. Victoria pulled Emma closer. Your mommy sounds like she was very smart. I think she'd be really proud of you. I hope so. Emma yawned. I'm going to go to bed now. Daddy says you need lots of rest. Good night, Victoria. Good night, sweetheart. Emma kissed Victoria's cheek, hugged Marcus, went to her couch bed in the living room. Marcus sat on the edge of Victoria's bed. You need anything? Just you, for a minute. He lay down beside her carefully. She curled into his side head on his shoulder. This is crazy, she whispered. 6 months ago, I was running a Fortune 500 company. Now I'm living in a 4th-floor walk-up with a man I barely know and his 8-year-old daughter. Having regrets. Not even a little bit. She tilted her head up. Marcus, I'm scared. Of what? That this won't last. That my body will reject the heart. That I'll die and leave you and Emma alone. That I'll wake up one day and this will all have been a dream. Marcus kissed her forehead. You're not going anywhere. And this is real. I'm real. Emma's real. That healing bracelet she made you is definitely real. Victoria laughed softly. It is pretty real. So stop worrying about tomorrow. Just be here, right now, with me. She nodded against his chest. Okay. They lay there in the dark, the hallway light casting shadows on the wall. Emma snoring softly from the living room. Traffic sounds from outside. All of it normal and ordinary and perfect. Marcus. Victoria's voice was sleepy. Thank you for letting me be part of this. Thank you for choosing us. She fell asleep in his arms. Marcus stayed until he was sure she was deep under. Then he carefully extracted himself, went to the living room, covered Emma with her blanket, kissed her forehead. Then he lay down on the floor with a pillow and a spare blanket because Emma had his couch and Victoria had his bed, and he'd never been happier to sleep on hardwood in his life. The first week was hard. Victoria was weak and frustrated and in pain. The medications made her nauseous. Physical therapy made her cry. Her body ached constantly. Marcus helped her to the bathroom, helped her shower, made her eat even when she didn't want to, counted out pills, monitored her temperature, watched for signs of infection or rejection. Emma helped too. She'd sit with Victoria and read to her, show her homework, tell her stories, make her smile when the pain got bad. You're very good at this, Victoria said one afternoon. Emma was painting Victoria's nails carefully, tongue sticking out in concentration. At painting nails, at taking care of people, you're a natural. I took care of Daddy after Mommy died. He was really sad, so I'd make him smile. It's kind of my specialty. It's a good specialty to have. Emma finished the last nail, pink with sparkles. There. Now you look fancy. Victoria held up her hands. The nails were messy and uneven and absolutely perfect. I love them. Really? Because I kind of messed up your thumb. They're the best nails I've ever had. Emma grinned, curled up next to Victoria on the bed. Can I ask you something? Anything. Are you going to marry my daddy? Victoria blinked. That's we haven't really talked about, because I think you should. He loves you. And you love him. And we're already kind of a family, so we might as well make it official. That's what Mrs. Chen says. She says you two are obviously in love and you should stop dancing around it and just get married already. Mrs. Chen has a lot of opinions. She's old. Old people always have opinions. But she's usually right. Emma looked up at Victoria. So are you going to marry him? Would you want me to? Duh. That's why I'm asking. I want you to be my mom. Not my real mom because nobody can replace her. But my other mom. My bonus mom. Is that a thing? Victoria's eyes filled. That's definitely a thing. Good. So you'll marry him. If he asks. He will. He's just waiting for you to get better first, because he's respectful like that. Emma said it with such confidence that Victoria laughed. You seem very sure. I am. I know things about love. I told you it's my specialty. That night Marcus came in to give Victoria her evening medications. Found her crying. What's wrong? Are you in pain? Should I call Dr. Reeves? Emma asked if I'm going to marry you. Marcus froze. She what? She said we should make it official, that we're already a family. Victoria wiped her eyes. She wants me to be her bonus mom. Marcus sat down slowly. What did you say? I said if you asked, I'd say yes. The silence stretched. Marcus stared at her. Victoria stared back. Are you? His voice cracked. Are you serious? I have a 24-day-old heart, and I'm living in your apartment wearing a healing bracelet your daughter made me. I think we're past the point of not being serious. Marcus laughed, cried, pulled her into his arms as carefully as he could. Victoria Sterling, will you marry me? Yes, absolutely yes. I don't have a ring. I don't care. I can't afford a wedding, or a honeymoon, or... Marcus. She pulled back to look at him. I have enough money for both of us. I don't need expensive things. I just need you, and Emma, and this apartment that's too small and too cold but feels more like home than any place I've ever lived. He kissed her, soft and careful and full of promise. Emma's voice came from the doorway. I knew it. Mrs. Chen owes me $5. They pulled apart laughing. You bet on us, Marcus asked. She said you wouldn't propose for at least 3 months. I said 3 weeks. I win. Emma ran over, jumped on the bed. Are we getting married? Are we a real family now? We were always a real family, Victoria said. But yeah, we're making it official. Emma squealed, hugged them both. This is the best day of my entire life. Wait until I tell Tommy. His mom is going to die. Maybe let's not tell anyone yet, Marcus suggested. Give Victoria time to recover first. Okay, it'll be our secret. A family secret. Emma settled between them. Can I be the flower girl? Absolutely. And can we have cake? The biggest cake you've ever seen. And can Victoria wear a white dress? Victoria smiled. If you help me pick it out. Deal. They sat there together, Marcus and Victoria and Emma, and it felt like every piece finally fit. Like the universe had been waiting for this moment all along. 2 weeks later, Victoria had a setback. Marcus woke up to her gasping for air at 3 a.m. Can't breathe. He called 911. The ambulance came within minutes. Emma woke up crying. Mrs. Chen took her while Marcus rode with Victoria back to Grace Memorial. Dr. Reeves met them in the ER, ran tests, came back looking serious. Her body is rejecting the heart, she said. Not severely, but enough that we need to intervene. We're going to adjust her anti-rejection medications and keep her for observation. If the new protocol works, she'll be fine. If it doesn't, it will work, Marcus said firmly. It has to. They admitted Victoria to the cardiac unit, started the new medication regimen. Marcus sat beside her bed and watched her sleep, and prayed harder than he ever had in his life. Emma came after school with Mrs. Chen, climbed into Victoria's bed carefully, always carefully. "You have to get better," Emma whispered. "We're supposed to get married. You promised." Victoria's eyes opened. "I'm not breaking that promise, sweetheart. I'm just having a rough day." "When I have rough days, Daddy makes me hot chocolate. Want me to tell him to bring you some?" "That sounds perfect." Marcus brought hot chocolate from the cafeteria. Terrible watery hot chocolate. Victoria drank it anyway. "This is awful," she said. "The worst." Marcus agreed. "I love it." They spent 3 days in the hospital. The new medications worked. Victoria's body accepted them. The rejection stopped. Dr. Reeves discharged her with even more warnings, more medications, more restrictions. "You're playing with fire, Ms. Sterling," she said. "Your body is fragile. You need to take this seriously." "I am." "Then act like it. Rest. Follow the protocol. Stop trying to do too much too fast." Victoria nodded, chastened. In the car, she was quiet. "What are you thinking?" Marcus asked. "That I'm tired of being broken, tired of being weak, tired of my body failing me over and over." "You're not broken, you're healing." "It doesn't feel like healing. It feels like dying slowly." Marcus pulled over, turned to face her. "Listen to me. You are not dying. You're fighting. Every day you wake up and take those pills and do that therapy and climb those stairs, that's fighting. And you're winning. So stop thinking about what you can't do and start seeing what you can." Tears ran down her face. "What can I do? I can't work, can't exercise, can barely make it up 4 flights of stairs without passing out." "You can love us. You can let us love you. You can be here. That's enough, Victoria. You're enough." She cried against his shoulder. He held her until the tears stopped. "Okay," she whispered. "Okay." They went home. Emma made Victoria's favorite dinner, macaroni and cheese, from a box. They ate at the card table, talked about nothing important, laughed at Emma's jokes. That night, Victoria took her medications without complaint. Did her breathing exercises. Let Marcus help her get ready for bed. "I'm sorry," she said, "for being difficult." "You're not difficult. You're scared. Big difference." "I don't want to be scared anymore." "Then don't be. Choose different. Choose to believe this is going to work, that you're going to heal, that we're going to have our wedding and our life and our future." Victoria nodded. "I'll try. That's all I'm asking." The weeks passed. December turned to January. Victoria got stronger. The stairs got easier. The pain lessened. The fear faded. She started cooking. Simple things at first. Then more complicated meals. The apartment always smelled like something delicious. She helped Emma with homework, read her stories, braided her hair in the mornings. She and Marcus fell into a rhythm. Coffee together before he left for work. Texts throughout the day. Dinner as a family every night. Falling asleep in each other's arms. It wasn't the life Victoria had planned, wasn't the penthouse, or the power, or the empire. But it was real, and it was hers, and it was enough. In February, Emma had her second science fair. This time, Victoria was there. She stood with Marcus in the gymnasium, watching Emma explain her project, the same heart model updated and improved. "How does the heart work?" Emma asked the judges. "It pumps blood, but more importantly, it connects us to other people. My mom died from a broken heart, not the sad kind, the actual medical kind. And my other mom." She pointed at Victoria. "She almost died too. 3 times, but she got a new heart from someone who died. Someone who decided to save people even after they were gone. And now she's here. And we're a family. Because hearts don't just pump blood. They pump love. And love is what keeps us alive. The judges were crying. Victoria was crying. Marcus was crying. Emma won first place. She ran to them, ribbon in hand, grinning so wide her face might split. I won. Did you see? I won. Victoria hugged her. I'm so proud of you, sweetheart. I couldn't have done it without you. You're my inspiration. Emma looked at the judges. That's what I told them. That you inspired me to understand hearts better. Marcus pulled them both close. His daughter, his fiancée, his family. I love you both, he said. So much. We love you too, they said together. That night, after Emma was asleep, Marcus and Victoria sat on the fire escape. It was cold but clear. The city lights spread out below them. You know what I realized today? Victoria said. What? I spent 30 years building an empire, made billions of dollars, changed industries, got my name on buildings. She looked at him. And none of it matters as much as watching Emma win that science fair. None of it made me as happy as dinner at our card table. None of it made me feel as alive as climbing 4 flights of stairs to come home to you. Marcus took her hand. You regretted the empire. No, it made me who I am, taught me what I'm capable of. She smiled. But I don't miss it, not even a little bit. What do you miss? Nothing. For the first time in my life, I have everything I need right here. They sat in comfortable silence. Then Victoria said, Marcus, thank you. For what? For kneeling beside me that night. For breathing life into my lungs. For saving me over and over. For teaching me what really matters. She turned to face him. I built an empire chasing success and nearly died of loneliness. Then you gave me everything, a reason to live, a family, to fight for a heart that finally knows how to feel. Marcus kissed her, soft and slow and full of forever. The richest hearts are the ones that give, he said. Someone smart told me that once. Victoria laughed. She sounds very wise. She is. And I'm going to marry her. Lucky you. Luckiest man alive. They went inside, checked on Emma. She was sleeping peacefully, first place ribbon clutched in her hand. Marcus and Victoria went to their bedroom, climbed into bed, held each other in the dark. Marcus? Victoria whispered. Yeah, I'm not scared anymore. Good. What changed? I realized something. I died 3 times, and 3 times you brought me back. You and Emma. You keep saving me. And I trust that. I trust you. I trust this. She pressed her hand to her chest, to her new heart. I trust that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. You are. We all are. She kissed him. I love you. I love you too. They fell asleep wrapped around each other. 2 people who'd been broken finding wholeness in each other. 2 lives that had been empty finding fullness in family. And in the living room, Emma dreamed of wedding cakes and flower girl dresses and the family she'd always wanted and finally had. Outside, the city kept moving. People kept living their separate lives. The world kept turning. But in apartment 4B on the 4th floor of a crumbling building on Maple Street, 3 hearts beat in sync. Connected. Complete. Home.